Yo, it's L. Welcome to The Outer Gamer, a comedic look at gaming news and stories. I want to start with Baldur's Gate 3. I've been enjoying every second of this game. I love this game. Gamers love this game. Game developers, though, not so much. It seems as if there's a lot of developers, hand in hand, basically saying, don't expect this level of quality from us. Well, if you expected Baldur's Gate 3 quality from Blizzard, EA, Square Enix, Ubisoft, any studios like that, then what I want you to do is get a mirror, look in the mirror, and laugh at what you're seeing. See, Baldur's Gate 3 was made by a passionate studio who wanted to make the best game that they could. Not to say that AAA studios can't have passionate people working on a game, but for AAA games, it's more about getting the game out, making a bunch of money for the shareholders, so then that way, they could buy a yacht that's bigger than the other guys. They know fans of the series will buy the game whether it's released in an unfinished state or it's just a mediocre game. Pokemon, Diablo, Final Fantasy, sports games, these are few examples of gaming series that are past their prime. For the most part, it's the diehard fans that are buying the games. And they refuse to play anything else because they don't want to admit that their game series are mid-tier at best. And if you think that's a bad take, then let's look at Mark Kern, or as you might know him on Twitter, Grums. So this is a screenshot I took of his tweet. The physiognomy of screenshots. The start screen of a game can reveal a lot about how rushed the team was and how much pride they took in their work. Starfield's start screen either shows hasty shipping deadlines by a passionate team overworked or a team that didn't care. So, as you can imagine, a lot of people thought this was a pretty bad take, and they told him that, and he responded with this. This is an IQ test. Anyone who thought I said the start screen determined the quality of the game failed. Well, when people disagree with you, best to insult them instead of clarifying your point. See, as gamers, we know that a rushed game or a game that developers took no pride in is usually signs of a bad game. Mark mentions meeting hasty shipping deadlines. Well, the game was delayed twice, so I don't think they were too worried about meeting deadlines. He also says, or a team that didn't care. Which, again, as gamers, we know developers tend not to care about bad games. I'm sure the people who worked on the Avengers game or Golem certainly don't go around admitting it. Mark, you did say the quality of the start screen reflects the quality of the game. You just said it in a roundabout way. Clearly, this is a dude who spent more time playing the Super Mario 64 start screen than he did playing the actual game. Starfield isn't out yet, so at this point, no one can really say whether it's good or not. Now, I loved Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I've been playing the Elder Scrolls games ever since Morrowind, but Fallout 4 and 76 sort of made me feel like Bethesda was on the decline. Fallout 76 especially, it had a bad launch. When the game came out, it had so many bugs and glitches, you think they just released an unfinished game that nobody bothered to playtest. Then there was issues with pre-order items, like the Nuka-Cola bottle that just turned out to be a case you put around the bottle. That's great, isn't it? Buying a game off somebody who doesn't even know what a bottle is. Then there was a helmet that had mold in it. Just because Fallout takes place in a nuclear wasteland doesn't mean you have to sell people helmets from the game that will actually make them sick. You can actually launch nukes in Fallout 76, which makes sense because Bethesda really nuked their public image with this bomb of a game. Now everyone is saying Starfield is going to be Fallout in space. Well, if you want Fallout in space, play Outer Worlds, or play Fallout 3 and get the DLC where you can actually go into space. You can shoot aliens and talk to samurais. And if that's not good enough for you, just play Fallout and wear an astronaut helmet. So speaking of people who need helmets, Darren Harris from Memphis, Tennessee, he stole 67 copies of Starfield. At that point, he should have just stolen 2 more just for the memes. Then he leaked gameplay in a poor quality video with some poor quality playing. Obviously, I'm not going to be showing any gameplay here, so just watch the trailer and imagine a worse version of that. He also posted pictures of the physical copies of the game which he was selling. Imagine being so smart that you commit a crime, you take pictures and videos, and then you post those online. Luckily for us, one of the videos was a review of the game, so let's check that out.
I ain't mad. Know what happens. For real. That game smooth. For all the gamers out there who want a different type of game, that's definitely something to get. It takes time. You're gonna have to read it. Can't just jump into it. You're gonna be just jumping around how I was for a minute. Todd, no offense, man. That's a good game. Perfect timing. About leaving the earth and all that. It's good stuff. Pretty swift, good moves. They were saying I play like a beginner, because I'm not a game expert. I was just trying something out. That's a good game. Y'all don't want to miss that. Starfield for real.
Yo, so that ends today's episode of sitting on my porch, smoking weed, talking about games. Starfield for real.
Also, in one of his smartest moves, he also tagged Todd Howard in this. For those of you who don't know who little Toddy is, he's basically the face of Bethesda and the director of Starfield. Basically, what he did is just the equivalent of robbing a bank, posting the pictures and videos online, and tagging the bank manager in them. Bethesda, you should really use this as a marketing opportunity. Starfield, the game's so good, it'll make you commit felonies. Apparently, he's being charged with possession of marijuana, theft of property between $2,500 and $10,000, as well as theft of property below $1,000. Harris is set to appear in court September 8th, so luckily for him, he still has time to play the game before he goes to prison, where I'm sure people who play video games, smoke weed, and steal guns are at the top of the food chain. No word yet on whether he's going to continue reviewing games in prison or not. So like, comment, subscribe, and remember, Starfield for real.
Starfield for real.